Hi, in this video I'll explain lighting and the different types of light in Unity. This tutorial is also compatible with Unity 6. I'm working on a personal project with HDRP, but the tutorial is applicable to other types of Unity projects as well. I've added a local volumetric fog to the scene to enhance the overall effect and beauty of the lighting. I've also added a post-process volume which I explained in detail in the tutorial here. Navigate to Game Object, Light to view the 4 available types of lights. I'll start with a directional light, which functions like sunlight in your scene. In the inspector, the type field specifies the light type and you can change it as needed. The mode defines the light's behavior. Real-time updates dynamically with object movement. Bake makes everything static, and Mix combines both real-time and baked lighting. The angular diameter field adjusts how the light is distributed across the scene. Increasing the value widens the distribution of the direct light. The light appearance controls the color of the light. You can adjust it based on the temperature. Alternatively, you can switch the color picker to manually select color. The filter controls the light color, and I can adjust the color to a warmer or cooler tone using a temperature. The intensity controls the brightness or strength of the light. You can also adjust the intensity using this field. Lux is the unit of measurement for intensity. In there, it controls how much light can bounce and illuminate the darker areas of the scene. Baking the light will provide better results for indirect lighting. The volumetric section utilizes the fog volume, which I explain how to create in the tutorial here. As you can see, the lighting effect is much less pronounced without the fog. We can adjust the intensity of the fog with this field. I'll cover shadow dimming later. I can enable the shadow here. Press enable. Good. Keep the update mode set to every frame as it controls when the light updates during the scene's runtime. I can manually set the shadow resolution by choosing custom or switch to a predefined quality level. This is better. Contact shadows are micro shadows that appear when objects are in close proximity or intersect with each other. You can adjust the contact shadow quality to any level you prefer. This option is optional, and you can still achieve a beautiful scene without it. For instance, observe this subtle small shadow. To use shadow dimming, the shadow must first be enabled. You can adjust the fog's intensity in the shadowed areas. Let's reduce the intensity. Another key aspect of lighting is global illumination, which I cover in detail in the tutorial here. Moving a directional light has no effect on it. However, rotating the light will change the direction of the light. Alright, let's go ahead and adjust the light. Here's the final result for the sunlight. Here I have a different scene to demonstrate the use of point lights. A point light resembles a bulb, making it ideal for interior scenes. When I enable the light mode, I see light, but it's just material representation, not actual light. Next, go to Game Object and then Light and then add point light. You're already familiar with the type and mode. The radius field determines how the light is distributed and also influences the softness of the shadow. Additionally, you are already familiar with the emission section. Let's increase the intensity. Point lights don't support real-time direct lighting. so you can disable this feature. You can adjust the light's range using the range field. Alternatively, you can adjust it using this control point. "15" is good. I don't need to use the indirect, cookie, or IES profile for now. As I mentioned earlier, the volumetric setting relies on the fog volume. Disabling the fog volume will cause the light's volumetric effects to stop working. Alright, the shadow is currently off. Let's enable it. Moving the light allows me to see the shadow shifting in response. Next, increase the resolution. Just be cautious, if you have many lights in the scene, ultra resolution can be performance intensive. Let's take a look at the contact shadow with the point light. Moving inside the object reveals a hard shadow. Alright, let's add more lights. To duplicate, simply press Ctrl D. Adjust the radius value to achieve the best result. Now let's take a look at the final result. Alright, I'm back in the car graveyard scene to introduce a new type of light, a spotlight. This circular shape represents the spotlight. The settings are similar to the point light. Now let's increase the intensity. Let's move the light to this position. The light type is set to spot, and the mode is set to real time. You can choose from other spot shapes, but I prefer the cone shape. A point light has two angles. The outer angle controls the light's range, while the inner angle increases the intensity. All you need to do is adjust it. Additionally, you can adjust the angles using these control points. Alright, the radius controls how the direct light is distributed, similar to a point light. Let's adjust the color to a warmer tone. Next, I need to increase the intensity. The range controls the depth or distance that the light reaches. I didn't need to adjust the indirect value, as it only functions in bake mode. The fog effect is shaped according to the cone of the light. If I turn it off, it no longer appears as a light source. I can also increase the fog intensity around the light. Finally, let's enable the shadow. Next, adjust the shadow resolution. The final type of light is area light. Navigate to Game Object and add a light to the scene. It illuminates according to the shape of this square. You're already familiar with the type and mode. You can change the shape here. There are 3 types shapes available. The tube shape works in real-time mode, while the disc shape only functions in bake mode. Let's switch back to the rectangle shape. You can adjust the size using the X and Y fields. You can also adjust it using these points. Enable light mode. Next, let's increase the intensity. Alright, I'll move it to a more suitable position. Now let's increase both the range and intensity. Area lights are typically used in rare cases in Unity. I don't need to adjust the indirect value. Finally, let's enable the shadow. I can't adjust resolution here, but I can set the near plane, which defines the starting range of the shadow. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And feel free to share your questions and ideas in the comments.